Hey everyone. You have already a question, so go for it. In the meantime, I can maybe already share my other screen. So I have now two mices here around, so it's getting a bit tricky to find the right one. So here we go. Let's see if this works correctly. Yeah, fantastic. So now you can see hopefully my Mac computer and currently the pub.dev page where I'm already searched for the Arkit page. And I don't know how much of you... Yeah, I think Augment Reality. For me, it's pretty tough to pronounce that. So let's see. I have to switch also my keyboard. Yeah, now it works. So Augment Reality is the topic. So I think most of you know that already, but what happens if you can use your phone, and with your phone you can show multiple positions, parts like geographic information. I think Pokemon Go is one of the most known things, but also Amazon allows, for example, this part here where you can add your furniture directly in your house before you buy it. I will do that, Siraj. I want to try that from now on. It's just a bit tricky at the moment with the work besides of everything, but I will try it, promise. As you see, also IKEA offers that already. So augmented reality is actually a big thing since several years, I think. The first time when I saw it, it was as an advertisement in a newspaper. And you could use your phone to see a bottle of wine inside of that newspaper. And actually, even though that it is already that long a topic, I never have worked with it. And today I want to change that because I heard that Flutter has a very good integration already, as long as you use the iOS part, because it will use the iPhone underlying a augmented reality SDK for that stuff. So it allows you already to have a lot of these premium features. And I want to just take a look into the AR kit, which is this nice little package here. And as you see, the Arkit Flutter plugin allows you have to make some changes in the info plist. One disadvantage, maybe directly from the start, this is only hard to achieve with Android. As far as I've seen is that you can do it, but for that you have a different package that calls AR Core plugin. And with that, you have also the possibility to somehow do it with Android. But as you see already, the version numbers are quite different. And also for iOS, you have to change some twerks like the version number of your iOS build system and so on and so forth. And we will take some time to just discover how this works. Now you maybe ask, where do I know all that stuff? Well, I tried it yesterday already, just in a pre-session for myself, to make sure that my phone is connected correctly, which didn't work this evening in the first place. But as you see now, if I'm open the QuickTime player, you can now see hopefully on the screen my iPhone. I try to connect all of that. Ah, perfect, the password is not visible. Fantastic, you see, iPhone thinks at everything. So this is now my current mobile or iPhone that I'm using. And as you see, it works pretty smooth to display everything, so I hope you can see everything correctly. And so we can play a bit around with our AR stuff. And you can see my empty room today. Okay, so if there are no questions till now, I would start, if this is okay for everyone. And as always, what we need will be a new Flutter project. Do you have some good names for this Flutter project that we want to do? Do you have maybe an idea what we want to create today with AR? Fantastic. With a new monitor, I think it's pretty good to see everything. So let's call that Arkit first try. If you want to, and the project will be interesting for you, we can maybe also make their AR Explorer is nice. Air Castle. Air Castle, it would be great to show that in parts. But I like the naming AR Explorer because then we can add a lot of projects with our AR inside. Wow. I searched a hard topic tonight. This app will explore the possibilities of AR. Hey Cass, nice to see you. Long time no see. Hope you are well. So, is the right Flutter project selected? I had some issues with that in the last days too, so yep, looks good. And here we can change this to dev, Flutter, explained. Cool. Kotlin and Swift seems to be good, and let's go for it. The only disadvantage of the QuickTime player at the moment is that it is always behind everything. Whenever I'm jumping here over, it will be gone away, but maybe I can do that. So, well, I think we will manage that somehow. So. Whew. All right, so the first project is created. We see already that my phone is connected here, and we have the main.dart. Let's start that up. If I'm taking a look here with my Face ID, we should directly see, whoop, it's the wrong key. Up. Here. So this will be our AR Explorer. I will remove all the documentation around here. Oh, look at that timings with a new machine. It's so amazing. 26 seconds to build the app. Fantastic. This is the stuff I'm talking about. Now working makes way more fun also in the live streaming. Okay, so we get the first problem here. It could be that my device is not a trusted device, even though that I tested it yesterday. I know my device is locked. Yeah, that's also a problem. Up. Maybe I can set up somehow that we don't lock all the time. Unfortunately not. Okay. So if you have a good solution for that. It's not really a new machine, that's the funny part actually. It's my old computer, but just the setup with that my MacBook is streaming the signal down to the computer helps a lot. Don't click here, we have to tap this time. Fantastic. Look at that, how smooth all things work. Cool. All right, so now we have our application, our AR Explorer. And the first thing that I want to do, and I think, fantastic. Yeah, let's take our time today. I don't want to get stressed. Always the evening mood that I have with lo-fi music. It's always perfect to work. Okay, so let's check the pub/spec.yaml. And, oh god, also a lot of documentation here. Let's get rid of that too. Good, and bring in the dependency. Like that. 8. So let's get that. I think this will make some problems with the iOS part, because the last time we have to update all the stuff. Let's check what we have in the README. And here we see already we have to update our info plist, and in the info plist, as you all know already, we set up our permissions for the phone. So if we want to execute something like the AR, we have to ask our users first. And thanks to the info plist, we can do that. As you see, we have always a key. That is the permission that we want to ask for, and the string that is requesting the information. So if we add this here, now inside of this string, we can define what actually we use the AR for. So please, no, we use the AR kit, or this is just for the camera usage. We use the camera to make fantastic AR solutions. So, all right. So that's this, and when I remember where I think it was in the pod file, we have to specify in the pod file here. Oh, it's your area, really? Cool. So maybe you have some great ideas. So for the platform, we have to upgrade to version 11, I think, if I'm right. So let's check once more. Yes, iOS version 11 or newer. Okay, so with that change in the pod file, we decided that our Flutter application will run now only on iOS 11 or higher. Okay. So the next step would be write an application. So I will do just as we could and just copy everything over to our main.dart. And as you see, everything works already because we made pub.get and everything. So the Arkit plugin is already there. The pod file is used by CocoaPod, and CocoaPod is a transpiler that works like it creates your Flutter application more or less in an iOS application. So it creates all the files that you need, and it sets up, like for example, the version number of iOS. It will execute all the creations. And if you want to know more about this topic, there is a fantastic website, Flutter CocoaPods, who explains all of that. I hope I'm right. This is just a project creation. CocoaPods Flutter. I think this is that guy here. Yeah, kind of, yes. While Gradle is really implemented, CocoaPod is a Ruby application that helps to transpile at the end. So it is kind of Gradle, you could say, yes. How do I share now links with you? That could be a problem. So go to cocoapods.org and I will have to figure out for the next time how I can send messages in the chat today. It's gonna be tricky, actually. Hey, Abdu Salam. Abdu Salam. Hope I pronounced that right. So, but now next topic. If we have set up all of these stuff, right? So now if we run our app and we have replaced the main.dart with all the stuff that we had there. Now let's have a quick look what happens here. So we create my app as always. So the main is just running that in a material app, home my app. I think I make that with commas just to make it better readable. Through your phone, yes. But I guess he will be there. But you could spawn some monsters who fight with him or something like that. I think that is more the use case for AR. Okay, so we have our My App, which is a stateful widget, has a state inside. And then comes this Arkit controller. And it seems that it behaves like an animation controller more or less because we have to dispose it. So it will not be disposed by itself. That's important to know. What do we have else? We create here a scaffold. Clean that up a little bit. Yep. So this title, just to make clear what happens. Actually, I'm not a big fan of this, so let's change that. Cool. Okay, so here is a scaffold, and in this scaffold we have a Toto. We have an Arkit scene view. And scene view tells me already that we will create a scene, so a scene will be a canvas, I think, so somewhere where I can draw on. And on the creation, we call this on Arkit create view created, which takes on the Arkit controller. Okay, so it will be a callback whenever this view has been created, and it's puts inside the Arkit here. In this Arkit controller, so in this one. And after that we get a node, and the node will be just a point somewhere, I assume. And there is an Arkit sphere inside, so this will be kind of a ball, I think. Samuel, I explained that in the beginning, if you scroll back a little bit, but It is possible with Android. There is a package for that called AR Core, but today I will focus mostly on iOS. Could I use this for 3D models of the real things? I think so. I don't know if it's possible to have Arkit already with a rendering software. So if you create your 3D models in Blender or in any other thing like Magix, or I don't know how they are called, then you are able to, or it could be that you are able to show them. Flutter with Unity or Unreal Engine. I will have a look to more. How nice that you mentioned this topic. I'm not sure if it is possible even, because Unity has created their own engine surrounding all these AR topics, augmented reality topics. So it could be that they don't even allow that at the moment. But I just don't know. So if you have some ideas, please let me know. Exactly. Yep. The measuring things are also AR. So you can measure distances and calculate them. So let's see if I can execute that now. Closing it off once more and starting new. Error output in the Cocoa, automatically assigning. I made a mistake. In the pod files up here, it is commented. We have to uncomment it. And run again. So it signs my Apple developer key, that works fine. We run Xcode, I think that looks now good. Let's hope for the best. Now we should see somewhere a sphere. I have to see AKS, I didn't see that yet, but if I find something I will let you know. So now comes our message that we added, right? So we want to use find and connect to devices. I'm connected already. Okay, so here's my sphere. Okay, so this is already the example that we had yesterday evening. Hey Nilesh, nice to see you. So this is our sphere. Let me put that here in the room. As you can see, it's very unordered. But now we have the ball here inside and I can really move around the one, can go closer, far away. But that's already pretty cool, right? Without any knowledge, I would say. We created that one already. The question is now, can we do something like where we add some shadows or something like that? For that reason, I would go back once more, because what the team has given us is already a lot of different examples. Oops, sorry. Hey Nilesh, hey Ambresh. Yeah, I try my best tonight. So let's see. So this Earth image. Okay, so we can put that around somehow. You may find a couple of samples in the example folder. Some rely on the Earth image. Okay, let's download this Earth image. I will directly download it into my project. So let's have a look. That should be Android Studios, AR Explorer, and here we will create an asset folder. Fantastic, and here we are. Am I too dark? I can make more light if you want to, but I was a bit lazy. Give me that mellow mood in the evening, you know. Okay, so the simplest scene with different geometries. Okay, so let's have a look into the code. The Hello World page, create state, dispose, okay. Create sphere. Ah, alright, so they are just calling different methods with the Arkit controller, and they are all inside of this on-AR view created. Today we are talking about the Arkit plugin from Flutter, which allows you to add augmented reality with your iOS and with your iOS device. Kit plane. Okay, I think I can do that. Doesn't look too complicated. You can specify here a diffuse, which is the material that we want to add with the plane. Okay. I'm wondering myself if there is a little bit more documentation to everything, or if this is just by example. You might want to check device capabilities. Okay, I think my device should be fairly good before you go to the App Store. Nope, not my plan tonight. And this is just that stuff. Okay. So if you find some more documentation, please let me know. Here are the API reference. Let us take a look here. No, this is just the default stuff. Okay, so it will be a bit try and error tonight, as always. So I would start with the Earth actually, because I find this topic very interesting. So we have a timer here even, so that seems that most likely the Earth will rotate in our case. But before we do all of that, what I would like to do is creating a material for our sphere that we have currently. So we have already this node here. So this is our sphere, right? And now we want to add there a material. I'm really curious if the hot reload is working. So let's see, we have the material here and the Arkit gets the Earth JPEG. Okay, you know what? I just copy this material for now, or I will write it down. We have the time. So final material equals to arc material. Inside of here we use, what is it? Lighting model name. Lighting model name, okay. Arc light model name. Yeah, Lambert. Okay, so this seems kind of, what do we see here? Produces a diffuse shaded surface with no specular reflection. Okay. Cool. And now comes the diffuse, and with the diffuse we give the properties. Yes, Dominic, I'm from Germany. I hope this makes you not nervous. Arc material property, and that one has an image. And now the question is, can I access the asset/earth.jpg? Yeah, I think a lot of people have directly understand that I'm German. It's always my accent. So let's change that and give it to rename earth.jpg. So we can try it now without that, but I have the feeling that we have to add this, of course, to our pubspec.yaml, but we will see. You can also just stick with your YouTube and just subscribe. Usually you should get a notification. And here, on the other hand, it's more my obligation to fix the terms when I will be live again. You know, that I know, okay, every Tuesday, Saturday or whatever, then it's way easier for you to follow with that. Okay, so we have this sphere, and I think this sphere will have the materials exactly. And materials tells me that this one can have multiple materials, which sounds very curious. Okay, so we added this material, and let's have a look. Our sphere looks different. No. Okay, so hot reload. Try it with hot restart. No, still not. And what could be the last problem? I could restart completely, but I assume this one has to be specified in the pubspec.yaml. Ambush, you have to send that to me via Twitter, and even then I cannot start it now at the moment, but I will take a look after the session. So where we are, assets earth, exactly, we wanted to add that in our asset file. So let's have a look here. Assets, and give it to, nope. I worked the whole day on a Windows machine and now it's getting very confusing to work on a Mac. Can I get the copy path? And I think I can get this guy. So, pub.get. Check out R. So, here. No, it's still the same. Let's completely restart the app once. I hope this is not always the time, just if we have a new asset into play. Now if it's running the build, I don't have to hold the phone the whole time. Okay, but with the node it is exactly the same, right? So we have a sphere where the material is inside, geometry, the position is clear, Euler angles, okay, so it's getting all mathematical. Hope that I have learned something. Okay, locked of course. Not used already to a phone in my hand when I'm developing. I don't know, Seraj. Seraya? Serik? This is what we want to find out today together. Wow, still installing. Finally. Yep. Does it? Ah. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's pretty cool. I love that. Oh, and we have a fake. It has no background. But hey, that's already pretty cool. Where are we at the moment? It looks like Australia, eh? But New Zealand is missing, I think. That's unlucky. Or am I completely wrong? That could be also the case. I don't know. So let's see. If this is the problem, I assume that we have currently this radius. The dark side is real. Yeah, that's the opposite side. So this is America, right? No, then this can't be New Zealand, right? This will be then Iceland, Greenland, I don't know. And Europe is on the other side, maybe? Don't know. That's really cool. Now I'm a bit sad that I don't have an AR, like these VR masks, or how do you call it, glasses? Like a Rift or something like that. Yeah, let's have a look what happens here actually, or what is still missing. So we could add the timer and make it rotating, but I think this will not solve our problem. Then we can add this to that, but there is a point, and here the Euler angles. I think I have to add both of them. So let's see, we have the position with 0, 0, -5, okay. And now they added the Euler angles, which is vector free dot 0. So let's do some mathematical stuff. Yeah, so what is vector free? Now this is the 0, I understand, but what is vector free? 3D column vector, okay. So it's really like mathematic, like in the old days. I love that. Exactly, so what happens if this material understands that it has a shape and it calculates where the image has to get to it, and it's getting stretched through surrounding it, usually, as long as I know still from my little experience with Unity. So nothing happened yet, so let's start at one new. What has the Euler calculate changed now? Let's bring it to here, that it's a bit easier for me, that I don't have to fight so much. But it's still there, right? What happens if I remove that again? Start. Nothing. Okay, but let's bring that in back again. And let's see where the difference are still. So we have this Arkit node and this sphere. With the material set, we have the radius set. It's just the rotation that is missing. Is Unity doing the... Yeah, I think Unity is way better in that, but still, there is still a lot of mathematics with that. But to put material onto a shape, I think that is usually done by the engine. How is it called? So let's add the timer and look how this is working. So we get this dispose. Where are we? Here. Wait, we want to have the timer up here, and then we want to dispose it here. Timer dot dispose. Oh, interesting. Why don't we have to timer dot cancel? And I think we have to check if it is there even, because the timer is only getting activated inside of this callback down here, I assume. So here we set the timer with the timer periodic. So this will make a movement to the planet Earth. The timer periodic, so every 50 milliseconds, the rotation turns this Euler Angles node Euler Angles and rotates x by 0.01, and that will change the angle in the rotation. Null safety, yep. Okay, so let's see if we turn something around. Okay, that's pretty cool with the music at the moment. But we still have this black patch, right? A bit unlucky. Maybe for the next time I need a stand for the phone, that I don't have to hold it the whole time. What could we do in order to make it possible to fit? We make it smaller with the radius. Ooh. Oh, you don't see the phone. I'm so sorry, of course. I enjoy here the good pictures and you don't get it. Not restart. Okay, I'm inside the wall now. I know it's just too big. Okay, so here we are. So as you see, here is the dark side still. So something is wrong. So I thought I could reduce the radius to something like 0.5. But if we make our hot restart now, and you see it's just making it smaller, but the material is still not stretched through. So I have to change still something, and I'm not sure what. But we will have a look. Maybe we find something cool. So here we have the color. So we could also change the color of our material, or of our material in that case. So if we don't want to have a white bulb or black stuff, we can change that here. And how can we now make it possible that it is surrounding it correctly? So lighting model is correct, diffusion is correct. Earth JPEG, final sphere, material radius. The vector is clear. Geometry is a sphere. Yep, absolutely. But they are black. You see, the surrounding is black, so maybe it interprets that as a real thing. How could we get rid of that? The problem is now that I don't have Photoshop anymore on this machine at the moment. Have to install that first. That's sad. Yeah, we need a distorted image. Yeah, so let's check if we find Earth PNG. And I think we find a lot of them, so... Or even, yeah, distorted. I think... distorted Earth. Ooh, that looks wicked. We need something like this, where the Earth is material for a sphere. Earth, sphere, image. Yeah, I think we don't even need that. We need something like this. Because the shape is getting surrounded by it, right? So what we could do is, if we have something like that, we could add that onto it. I could imagine. This is just a thinking of mine. The problem is with SVGs that I don't know how good it will work together with the package of Arc. Because the problem is always with SVGs that they are not getting good interpreted by Flutter. So let's change that. Let's add that to the pubspec.yaml down here. And better just remove that and keep all of them. I think so. That should be possible because it will just lay it over. But we will see. Maybe I'm wrong. I did it all the time on Unity and Unreal Engine. I don't know if this works here too. Syncing files. Okay, take your time. Yeah, and this R-Core Flutter plugin is the possibility for Android. It seems to be fairly complicated, and the biggest problem is this part here, that it is not yet that far. So, how are we doing? Syncing, close that, start it off again. Is it possible to add my own objects like table, etc. to an AR? I'm pretty sure something like that will be possible. I think you have to create it first, but should be possible. I don't know actually, we have to check that. So we can maybe just Google that. So Arkit Flutter plugin, add own objects. Or models would be the better way. Model. Add custom objects. So I'm not the only one who's getting this question. There is a custom object example. So yeah, it seems to be possible to have a custom object here on top. Plane detection, AR on create view, add plane, anchor, anchor ID. And here you have these models with a DAE file. I have no idea about this stuff, so I'm not a 3D editor, but if you have some ideas, let me know. Okay, and here you can see our Earth rotating. And we can make that also again a bit bigger. Is there an app for something like that? That would be amazing, because what I know is that 3D modeling usually uses a lot of power of your computer. So I'm not quite sure how this will work with your... Really? That's cool. Maybe we can find that app in a second and then we can try to bring that app inside. Here's New Zealand, Australia. So you can see even the North Poles are on it. So if the image is good enough, you can put something like that on top. It still looks a bit distorted, even though that this image is small, super small. I wanted to say that the image is very big. So why is that image so small? Here it is like, I don't know, 8K? Maybe it was just an example. Let me see if we get this texture again. So high resolution, ultra high, no, high resolution would be more than enough. So let's save that and call that Earth second. Place. Because if something my phone can show, then it would be a perfect solar model. But that didn't work. I think we have to restart again. I did. So, and yeah. But if we have to create all of this ourselves, it could be very interesting to create something like a street sign, or then you can see how much work is in something like Google Maps that have these AR solutions. It's fantastic. It's really a lot of work, but it really looks fantastic at the end. Oh, I said again fantastic. I hear it now a lot that I'm telling that too much. Should change that. Oh, thank you. Have a look in a sec. So now our world with the better image looks directly way cleaner. It is like you can see your house from here. So this should be Hawaii, I think. New Zealand down here, right? So directly on the chat, you see? You are there. On 3D Programmatrix. Okay, let's check that out. Maybe I find something. So go to the App Store. Yep. And search, what is the name? 3D Photogrammetrics. Photogrammatics. Patchy scan. Photogrammetry, this guy most likely, huh? Oh, no worries. What's wrong? Get precise 3D coordinates. Measure by geometry using photo. Okay, this is just to have AR in a place, I think. Cool. But create 3D model meta 3D scan, upload, export. Okay, that's crazy. Let's try that. So this can install, and in the meantime, okay, 3D photos, I think, oh, why not? The problem is I have to search something that we can photograph 30 times. Yeah, I will find something. But in the meantime, while this is downloading, we can have a look maybe in the second example. So this was the Earth. I think that was quite easy to understand. What? You can have tab events? No way, I didn't know that. Enable tab recognizer. You can. So on tab, that is fantastic. Oh, my coffee cup. You bring a good point. I don't have a copy here. This Arctic controller on tab nodes. So that means I can add these kinds of things. Lost connection, okay, we can fix that. So that means we can have a tab recognizer and show something. I really like that. I want to do that. So we enable that on this scene. That would be here, no, up here. On tab, no, activate tab, yeah, enable tab recognizer. So, and then if we have that recognizer inside, we can create on the controller, we override the callback on node tab. So let's do that. This.Arkit controller, or no, just Arkit controller, right? Oh, we can just use, no, it's the global one. Okay, so on node tab, now we override with node, that is the node that we tapped, I assume at least, and then we have an on node tab handler. So this is nothing else than a function. How do we do that? Just write it. On tab handler node. And here we execute that and create this method down here. We get a list of strings. So the nodes are nothing else than a string. All right. So if this is the case, we have to rename this to, oops, out. Why can I not refactor? So somehow my keyboard is confusing, I think. Shift F6, I thought I pressed it. No? Okay. Then my keyboard don't work to name. Nodes. Cool. Okay, so now we have that tab handler and this just do something. What can we do here? Nodes list, where do we get that one from? Ah, from the names, okay. It takes the first name that is tabbed, then it changes the color. Ah, it changed the color of the material of the sphere that is pressed. The sphere is this guy. Show dialog. You tapped on name. Sphere materials value, Arkit material diffuse. Okay, this is just a basic example how you can change the image. So what we could do is, to make it a bit more interesting, we could diffuse it with a different image. So let's change that. We give the final name. The name is the nodes list. In our case, it's just node. Still not good. Oops. Ah, I know why I'm getting errors. Okay, so let's do this first. If you have ever seen this guy here, whenever you press Command, Shift, and A, it is a very tedious error that comes from macOS. And this comes from the keyboard, and you have the short orders. And I think this guy has some stuff like the Command Shift A and so on. Because it blocks so many keyboard shortcuts of me, I cannot work as I want to. And so I have to remove all of them. Because let's be honest, who uses keyboards for his Mac? I think a lot will do, but I'm not. So get rid of that. Command Shift, go away. Messaging, I don't need a search here. Okay, internet. So you don't have to remove all of them, of course, but especially here Spotlight is very important, you should keep that. But some of them can be gone, I think, so move them, and I don't need. So, and remove. So let's see if this worked for me. No, unfortunately not. Is there a possibility? Ah, okay. I need to head cool. So this works. Nodes list. Next list. Okay. You know what? Let's go to Twitter. If you send me that many messages here. Oh, and also messages here. Everyone is writing me. Fantastic. So photogrammy. This is the first one that you sent. Okay. And the other one? Oh, cool. Really? Okay, so this has to be tested out in the near future. I think my app is already installed, so we could maybe try that one first. Create a scan. Would like to use the camera. Okay, so what do we take? Okay, not this guy. Can we? Yeah. Okay. Okay, this world scanning uses the... Okay. I'll make now as... Don't... Oh, just keep my face for now. That was scary. Okay. Okay. Nice try. Just okay. Was a nice try. It was a bit scary, to be honest. But we can test the other apps. So what do we have else? So this Canvas, Bellows 3D. Is there a free one with them? Free 3D scan app. iPads only, iPhone X, capture 3D, scan everything. Okay, but we can try that in the future. For now, I want to keep a little bit on the code here, but it is very interesting to see how that works. Especially to get your own images into it. Maybe we can do that in the future. No worries, no worries. So we have our name. So final name is node list first. Gets the first element, and then we want to check the color by some stuff. First color, diffuse color. Okay. So in order to change our image, how would that work? We want to check first the image itself. So we would go to final image, and because our sphere is currently not an own, whoops. So once again, so our sphere is currently not an own element sphere. I think we have to extract that, and I think the sphere needs to be also somewhere else directed. Yeah, up here, so inside of the state. So let's bring that up here to the build function, up here. Cool. So now we can ask our sphere sphere. All the stuff. Materials. Okay, so we have only one materials. Dot value dot first. So this is our first material that is inside. That will be this guy or this Arkit here. And if we search for diffuse, we will get this material property. Image. That was easier than I expected, I have to admit. So, and if this image is, for example, assets/earth second.jpg question mark, then we will return earth.jpg. Else we return earth second.jpg. And of course we do this with a string. Okay. Now this gives us the image itself that we want to return, and here we have now sphere materials.value. So sphere.materials.value again. We get a, and we just override it by a new material. Or better, by all new materials. So that makes it a bit interesting. Material. And this has a diffuse, in our case an arc. What was the diffuse of the image? Arc material property. Arc material property. And inside of here we have the image, which is our image. Do we need the name? Probably yes. Oh, sorry. Not quietly asked. Okay, if search for an app to do the modeling 3D scanner, make search for 3D object scanner, but there are lots, so some other time. Okay. ZBrush or Blender? Yeah, Blender is a fantastic program for something like that. I really love Blender. And if you have seen the 3D models that they create with Blender, it's fantastic. And actually my first videos here on this YouTube channel, when I was still a gaming YouTube channel, was rendered with Blender. I was a hardcore man. So this is the image that should work now. And what do we have else? We set here the color to color. In our case, it's image to image. And that's probably it, right? So we change now our sphere with that. Let me log into my phone. Start up the application. And I see right now that my face is covering the image of the phone. Let's put it down. Oops. That was a mistake. Maybe it's a good call to install Blender from time to time just to create some AR stuff. Completely not too much. The next time I should do such a stream on a Friday, I think. That would be better with some beer or something. Okay. So we have our image, and if I tap now here with this magic finger, we get nothing. So no such method. The getter materials was called on null. This guy was called on null actually. So why is that? Because this guy is a variable. Can't do that. So now we're using the global variable, and I think now it should be happy. So we have again our thing. Okay, there was another problem, but we changed the texture. It's now white. You can't see it. Ah, man, Max. So let's restart that one, that you can also see that magic happened. That happened to me right now. So, and press the button and destroyed. And this is an error code that's weird. Nil host used in call. Okay. So materials value. Maybe I forgot something, but we will take a look into it and understand where the error comes from. Of course. Because this guy don't exist. And one more thing. I set it up my complete Mac once more for fresh because we had some issues, so I have to add some stuff. Clone caret below, and this will be this guy, and above, and this will be this guy. Oh. So where's my globe? Ah, here. It's also something to lose his globe. Okay, now it's still destroyed. Double equals? Yeah, I think so. This is to check or not. So the image is this one, right? Is it not equal? This is because of my my font well, I cannot pronounce it, but it is because of the font ligatures. Let me check. Ligatures things. So it is equal. It is two equal signs. You just see it as one. You see, this is one, and these are two. And it's even possible to make three, and it's still someone. Ligature, exactly, ligature. Ligature. Oh, I need to Google that. It's important. Ligature. A thing used to tying. So, and I usually ligature. 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 Okay, learned something. Sorry, that was important. So, where's my globe? Microphone. Nope. That's cool. It's like I'm showing you the office. Okay, so it's still rotating. I'm pressing the button. And we have the random earth. That is cool. And the best thing is we have even animated it. I wonder if we can use something like Rive and bring that into here. That would be so cool. I think with that we can even add animations and stuff. So, not animations, but other stuff. So, that's pretty cool. Okay. So what do we have else? So tab was fantastic. Plane detection detects horizontal planes. A plane is a flat part, right? So with that we can identify plane things. Okay, so what I can say already, they don't have so much documentation, but geez, the examples are fantastic. So you can really easily work through them. So I want to understand what this flat means, if this is really just the areas, because with that we could maybe create our own, what Stefan said at the beginning, like how to measure things, for example, that we can see how large my table is or something like that. So let's see, we have that, we have this in place. Okay, timer is not necessary anymore. Well, you know what? We keep this guy. I don't want to lose it. And what we do is we actually create a new file for that. And I will do that here in a package.examples. Or, yeah, example. Let's keep it for now and just add a new Dart file, which we call plane recognizer .dart, and we will create an own widget for that, so we can keep all of them. So my app with a my state, so this is a stateful, plane recognizer. We import the material, and so we can also check if we have understood what we need. So we will use that in a material context, and we want to have a scaffold. And inside of the scaffold we have a body, and the body will be an arc view, scene view, exactly. It is required. Okay, we add that. Fantastic. We will do that in a second. Because what we saw before was that this was an own method. On view created. Kind of this. So that makes it easier to read. Okay, so what is the second part? I think we want to have in the state the different parts, right? We want to have the controller, the plane, the node, and the anchor ID. So we have a controller here that we could actually make also private, I think. No, not sure about that. We can try. And what do we have else? The plane. This is the flat line, I assume, the node, and the string anchor ID. So the plane. Let's check what represents a rectangle with controllable width and height. The plane is only visible side. Okay, so it seems to be really an object that we integrate. Arkit node. And the last thing is a string, the anchor ID. Great. Okay, so then we dispose all of that. That makes sense, right? So dispose. Is the music actually too loud? Just as a question beside, because I don't have too much on a look on it. Okay, hear it already. I'm so. Okay, we dispose that. Music is okay, fantastic. So, and now we create all of that. And this happens, we create first our controller, and because we want to dispose it later, we have to set it here. So this is our controller that we receive. The second part is on add node for anchor. On add node for anchor. Okay. Arkit controller dot on node and on add node for anchor. And this is a method on add node for anchor. Create method. Okay, so we receive an anchor on that case. Oh, I'm curious what this brings now. Handle add anchor. If anchor is arc plane anchor, return. If not, of course. IMAX stream quality is bad. Is bad? Really? I will check quickly, just in case. It looks okay-ish on the phone. I don't have any captions, that's the problem. Only 720p, really? Oh yeah, you're right. I will check that for the next stream. I'm sorry for that. Actually, I don't even know what it is. Video. Oh, the output scale is really reduced. That is sad. Okay, yeah, for the next time I will have another look. What is that? I think it's the auto update. Ooh, what's that? That's the phone. Yeah, sure. Okay. So on add anchor. Cool. The next thing is the Arkit controller. And here we have the on update node for anchor. There's already blame game for not informing everyone. Oh, anchor. Maybe I have to make it more obvious. How can I read you guys? If I do, there are still some mistakes, please let me know. And I should write anchor correctly. Anchor. Like that. Great. So, and inside of the handle add anchor, we have this part here. Let's see. So if this is not an anchor return else, we call add plane, and we call there a create field, create class. What is add plane? Add plane is a method. So let's check that out. We have here the method. Okay, so why can I not create that? Here we go. Good. That's a good question, actually, Minu. I was yesterday working a little bit on some other project, and I just played a little bit around, and then I thought, what would be a cool topic for a stream? And somehow I came from the AR topic. And because I was anyway in picture processing and 3D modeling, I thought that amazing as a topic. I don't know, it was just hooking me, and I thought, let me do that on a live stream. Then we have some fun together, and I can have some spare time, like clean time like now. And because I was not really active in the live streaming section in the last couple of weeks, apologize for that. I hope I will be better in the future, but at the moment the office is looking like crap, and at daytime we have so much noise because here we have a big how do you call it, a big construction site. Cryptography too, yeah, that would be also amazing. Maybe how we can create bitcoins with Dart. I think we will not generate not even one, because my computer is way too weak. But we could try to have a cryptocurrency our own or something like that we could create. I think that would be a fantastic topic, to create an own cryptocurrency, the Flutter coin. I like the idea even more if I hear it. Let's see. Underline plane, I think. Or did I call that differently? A Arkit plane. How did they call it? Just plain. Yeah, okay, so they call that here plane. And yeah, we can make it private. And this guy is called node. WebRTC would be also amazing. I have a fantastic idea for an app with a WebRTC. It's just a topic that is very, very, very complicated, I think. I tried it once and it is not easy. At least for me, I don't know. Of course, there are always experts. Plane, and here we go with materials, height, and so on. So with the anchor dot, where do we get a width from? Most likely from the transform. Or so handle update, no, add plane down here. So anchor extend x, okay. Extend, we don't have an extend. Anchor, Arkit plane anchor. Okay, that was the wrong anchor here in that case. Okay, so with that we get the extend, and then we have x. Okay, so and the height would be anchor dot extend y-axis, which makes also sense. Plugin for video and audio calling. I think that comes into the same topic like WebRTC at the end. But yeah, that would be amazing. So I see I have a lot of topics. You really should write me them somewhere, maybe down in the comments below, that I will never forget them. Because believe me, I'm horrible at remembering stuff. And I make a lot of promises that I cannot keep. And it's not on purpose, it's just because I am a little bit, yeah. I have the brain of a cashew, I would say. Diffuse, especially during streams. You see? Material property. And this has a color, for example, colors.white. Okay. Now I just written down without thinking, so this is never a good option. So let us think what we have written here. So we created an Arkit plane, and we get that from an extended x, extended y from some element. Where do we get that from? From this node for anchor. So anchor seems that it get a hook from the edges of a thing, and from that we can calculate the stuff. And then we have a transparency of 0.5, and we put a color white element on top of it. Okay. After that, we create a node, which is a plane in our case. It will not have a lot of height. Open a Google Sheet. We keep writing ideas, later filtering them, and make schedule for live sessions. I think I have even a Google Sheet for open videos already. Let me check if I find it right away. Yep, here it is. So has changed. Okay, yeah, do that. So how can I share that now with you guys? Share. Get link, copy link. Send it to my other computer. Okay, let's switch quickly to the mouse. Google Open Video Topics. Yep, got it. Still weird to work with two computers at the same time. Also because I have one keyboard that is connected with both of them. So, and I don't have chat. Fantastic, I did it. So yeah, please, if you have videos, ideas, please let them always here. And what I will do is at the bottom of it, I will just add maybe... Why can't I not change anything? How did I change? Anyone I can... Yeah, you can comment on that, that's true. And I can edit, I thought. I have to switch back the keyboard, of course. Fantastic. So live stream ideas. And give that a heading. Good. So much to that. Angora plugin. Sounds also interesting. Okay, so here we are. What do we want to achieve? Yes, exactly. So we want to still measure our plane. With that, we can create a geometry, which is a plane. We create a node for that. Okay, so after we have this arc plane, we create a node. And this will probably the node up there. And we create an Arkit node. This has again all the different stuffs, and one of them will be this plane. Okay, so this plane is getting overwritten by this guy, and now we are using it as a node. Makes sense. Okay, so the position will be most likely where we have found it. So vector dot, where comes vector from now? So vector is coming from up here. So there is a package called vector math. We should add that. I don't know how much math you had in your university or during your life already. The vectors are all position coordinates in a three-dimensional coordinate system. So you have the x-axis, you have the y-axis, and you have the z-axis. So you can find your position somewhere, and all three of them called a vector. Just that you know that I have brought everyone up to speed with that. So did that work now? Yep, vector is there now. So vector dot vector. Scroll down. Okay, so we use vector 3 with 3 coordinates, in that case x, y, and z. So, up where we are. And here we want to use the anchor dot center dot x. Anchor, no, this will be 0 probably because it's a plane, right? So we don't have a height. And the z index will be the anchor dot probably center dot y, no, z. Yeah, I think Dominic made some very good presentations already around topic localization. So currently I still wait till I tackle that topic, till something new happens. On the other hand, hot reload in ARP files is already a very interesting topic, I guess. And now we have a rotation here. So we rotated. So this is X, Y, Z, and what is that? We will see. Okay, so let's see. We rotation by vector dot vector 4. So vector 4 would be constricted with specific values, with W. The width, maybe? Okay, don't know. Never heard about a 4th dimension. If you know more, please let me know. So that will be 1, 0, 0, and the last one is the minus math.pi. Where do we get math from? No, math. Yep, and here, .math. Okay, also a package from .math. .math, so what did we use? .pi, yeah, okay. So 1.6 something. Okay, and last but not least, we just say our controller to add this node. Controller, this is our Arkit controller, dot add the node. Node, parent node name is the anchor node name, okay. Anchor dot node name. Okay, so we have a parent-child dependency here somehow. So this node will be a child of this guy here. Interesting. So, wait. This and this, and let's get back. Don't look at my own stream. I hear this brings bad luck. Okay, so we have all of that, but I think we have this update still on top, right, that we have to do. So how do we implement that? Handle update. So we check if the anchor identifier is not the same as the one that we have already. Then we create a plain anchor, node positions, widths, and heights. Okay, let's take that width. I make that now a little bit faster. I hope that's okay. Node position, and we go through line of line. So if the identifier that we have from this new anchor on an update is not the same like the anchor ID that we have saved already on the creation up here, then we create this guy. And then on this node, we set a position. Okay, I'm not quite sure what happens, but let's try it out. See if we find a plane somewhere. We can Okay, that's underwhelming. Ah, yeah. I did a big mistake. I shouldn't take here the main app. I have, of course, the plane recognizer. So I was wondering why there is a planet, right? That was not a good thing. Let's hot restart. Okay. Okay. So the problem is I don't know what I should do. Ah, yeah, you can see it. That's true, but me neither. So it is just the phone image at the moment. Even if I tap or something, nothing really happens. Don't get any feedback. Okay, so let's have another look. Maybe I made a mistake somewhere in the code. So let's recap. We have this material stuff. We create state, yep, makes sense. We have these 4 elements and all of them are used, I guess. I'll go up here, yep, all 4 are used. We dispose our controller, that makes sense. We have the app bar, we show okay, maybe we should add this stuff here. So because I created this stuff on my own, because I thought, hey, let's learn something. Let's change that with show feature points, plane detection, horizontal, vertical, horizontal. So everything that is horizontal will be detected, and then we create the whole stuff. Okay, that makes sense. So let's hot restart and let's see. And let's show you something. Real. Okay, it does something, and we have a lot of shapes here on the table. That is so cool! But it's getting a bit stacked here on the table. I don't know why it loves my table so much. But as you can see, you see these yellow dots, and I think this is our image points of the stuff that it sees and that it can recognize. So somehow I have a stacked part of images down here, but everything else don't really work. Let me check if I restart once more, and I just keep it here. And lucky for me, I got a weird message, so better that you didn't see that. Yeah, yeah. Okay, maybe we have to get better with that. That doesn't really solve a problem, at least not one that I know of. But it's pretty cool that we have already the planes, so that means we can have the vertical planes. What would happen if I change that part here with horizontal to vertical? Or even to horizontal and vertical? I think then we drive completely crazy. So hot restart. Ah, finally we get our shapes somehow. It's really an interactive round trip through my office today. And I don't show you anything. I'm sorry. So with the vertical and horizontal, it's understanding a little bit better with the different floors. Oh, look at that. My trash bin is also important. The roof is not planish enough. Okay. But that's already something, I think. So we made a big step again. With that, we have the possibility to recognize the different planes. That is cool. Ah, and here comes the distance tracking. Detects horizontal plane and tracks distance on it. Measures physics. I have to admit, I have way more fun than I expected. This is a topic I really love. Will it recognize my face? That's also a cool question. It's a good question. Can we turn it around? Because at the moment we just use the back camera, and what I can do, I could use that, and because I'm too lazy to solve that problem now, let's check. Well, I have a lot of yellow dots. So, distance tracking? Okay, let's try distance tracking for the next step. That would be this guy. So let's have a look. It's getting a bit more complicated, but that's fine. Let's see what Twitter says us. Okay, it creates the Alexandro Loishenko. I think this is the main developer. I should follow him at this point. So what was that now? That is now it supports plane anchors and some debugging options. Okay, awesome work. Okay, that is not the message that I searched for, but cool. So this seems to be a bit more complicated, but I think that is the next part that I would like to take a world. Hello world dot? No. Let us check once more. I think I lost something. So pub.dev, Arkit Plugin, let's go. This we have, that is done. Arkit controller, plane detection. Plane detection page. Okay. Was I on the wrong Twitter? Could be. No, it was that one. Okay, we'll see. Let's go. Plane detection. So we go to that part. New file, plane detection.dart. We have a stateful widget, plane detection. We import our material. We have a scaffold with an app bar. Plane detection is not correct, or? I'm always going on the plane detection, guys. So plane's distance. Okay, it doesn't load it. But yeah. Plane detection. No, we want the distance tracking. Yeah, I think panorama images shouldn't be a problem as long as they are on top of each shape, so you can put that on a different shape. It should be possible. Should try that at least. So distance tracking page, yeah. So distance tracking. Why does it? Ah, sure. You see, I don't work that much in Flutter at the moment, and you see that at every point. So app bar, title was the name. Title, and this is a text widget, which is distance tracking. And we will change, of course, the name of plane detection to distance tracking. Tracking page. Okay, then we have a body, and here we have again our arc view. scene view, and on created has on view created. We can create this method. Fantastic. Great. Okay, so before I continue, let's check if we need something here. So these things are the controller itself. I should getting learned to that because I know that. So the Arkit controller. Let's make it private again. The dispose. If I'm too fast with writing or something, just give me a hint, then I will try to slow down. But I think this stuff is now done twice, so should be fairly simple. Oh, some water. Good point. I will be back in a second. And here we are back again. Thank you for the water, that helped. Why is it in the night? Because it's after work. It's the first time that I'm streaming after the office work. And so I took the time today to do it here. So I hope this is fine for you. I know it's always a bit unfortunate because not everyone can watch it. But yeah. Okay, so we have the Arkit plane again, which we have to recognize. And now my voice is also back. Getting this deepish voice again. Cool. We have the Arkit node. That's absolutely true. So nice of you, thank you. Anchor ID, and last but not least, the last position. Okay, and it seems that we have to import again our vector math package. I think the music is good. Like that. Fantastic. Okay, so now we can just get that from the other element, right? Here we have it. Oops. And I see right now that the name here is still wrong. So this is of course plane, no, distance tracking page. So, and we import the vector 3, or better the vector part with the last position. And also this one we can do. Good, dispose we have already used, that's fair. And now in the Arkit scene view, how does that look like? So we have this time the feature points that we want to activate. This will give us again the nice little green little dots everywhere. Then we have the plane detection. We check again for horizontal planes. Really have to look if we find a better plane somewhere. And a tab recognizer, so we click. In which company do you work? I am working for my own company most of the time, and every Tuesday and Thursday I'm working for a company in Frankfurt. Yes, question mark means optional, and that means if this one is null, it will not go further. It will not try to call this dot dispose. I will just go over this method so it cannot fall. Ah, yeah, Flutter explained, exactly. Oh, I do? Fantastic. Okay, enable tab recognizer, so we can click that element here. And on create view, we have already this guy, we have the on handle node actor, we have the on update node. I think we can reuse that from before, right? They will be the same, I assume. And that looks like that. So what we will do is just copy them over. So that will be this guy. So this guy. And I think also other part here can be done. Okay, we have them. Add on plane. Will we use the same method again? Yeah. So also that part with this guy is also the same. So the add plane method will be also the same part. That means we have to import the Mahtab. Usually I wouldn't do it this way. I would create like a service or something that can use both. But because I just want to try a little bit around, I do it like this at the moment. Yeah. Can't imagine null safety is really a helper. It's so amazing that this stuff comes into play sooner or later. Yep. I think even in JavaScript or TypeScript you can use it. Okay, so we have that add node, nothing of that has changed, and then we have an on-plane tab handler. So if we tap on a plane, we can do something on it. Calculate distance between points, okay, length of A to B times 100 centimeters. Draw text. Oh, cool, we will draw a text on the, oh, that will be amazing. I'm looking forward to it. So let's do that. On plane tab handler, everything else we have, right? The handle add anchor. We have to register all that stuff. We can do that right away, I think. So somewhere we have our method here. So this Arc controller equals to the controller that we receive. This Arc controller dot on add node is equals to on add node for anchor. I think I don't have to pass that down. That will be immediately called. Yeah. On update node for anchor will be on update node for anchor. Great. All right, Ambresh. Good night. Enjoy the sleep. So, and now we have this on AR tab. And here we tap now the first time on something. So this dot Arkit controller dot on AR tab equals to, and now this is the first time that we write it inline. And you know what? I don't really like that. I would say we move that somewhere else. So also here we have on AR tab, our own function that we create. Test result, okay. So we get these test results, and with that we talk now final plane tab. This is what we, final plane tab equals to AR first where. In that case it's hits.firstWhere. So firstWhere element, they call it tab. Yeah, so where the test says where we tap first, right? So the tab type is equal to, oh, that was one too much. Arc hit test result type existing plane using extend. Okay, so we check if the tab where we tapped on arc hit type. Oh, what is the name? Arc hit test result type. Arc hit test result type dot. And now we have the existing plane using extend. Hey Coffee, very welcome. Innocent Conan, okay. Is he really innocent? So, and this happens or else null. So we have here an or else part. First where. So if we find an element, we do this. And if we don't find one, we do this. And in our case, we just return null. So, and if plain tab equals to, so if it exists, most likely, yep. If it is not null, check. What then? On tab handler. Now we tap actually. So on tab handler that we create, and we pass the plain tab world transform inside. Plain tab world transform. All right. Yeah, I also like them. I don't know, since I first time saw them, I really use them everywhere and I cannot get without them anymore. So on tab handler. Once I created a Twitter video for that, how you can implement them in your application, so in your IDE for Visual Studio Code and also for Android Studio. So feel free to take a look. And if you don't want to search it, I think I did it also on the YouTube community once. Okay, let's see the handle at anchor. No, now we want to go down to the on plain tab handler. Matrix for transform, final vector free material. Okay, we create a sphere, we create an Arkit node. We call the add node and so on, and we save the last position. Okay, I will do that now on a faster track, so I will copy that. And I bring that here. And let's see if this is correct. On plain tab handler, and I think this on plain tab handler is in our case that on tab handler. Is that correct? Let me check. On plain tab handler, yeah. So this is our on tab handler. Up. We remove this one and up. And remove this. Transform get column. Where do you want to get the transform from? Draw text, vector, transform. Is that an imp? Ah, no, he just called the matrix 4 that way. Okay, so we call this transform and he should be happy. Okay, on here there are still some issues because this guy is our down. Made them all private and called it differently. Last position. Arkit controller. This is a method we want to create, and last position, private one. Draw text is the next method. Hey Ovo, welcome to the Flutter Explained family. Nice to see you around. And that happens too. So draw text, create method. We'll do that soon. We get the middle vector. Ooh, something removed. Ah, yeah, should keep that. And calculate the distance between 2 points. Okay. Yeah, I think she will, or they will upload the video to YouTube as soon as they can, as far as I heard. I'm already pretty nervous. On Friday I have my talk at the Cross-Platform Mobile Development Summit 2020, and I trained a lot to directly say that without how do you call it if you stutter? No, because mobile development summit in a cross-platform development mobile, no. You see, it's not that easy. The Cross-Platform Mobile Development Summit 2020. yeah, is on this Friday, I think. And on Saturday there is the Flutter Valhalla, no, Flutter Vikings, I think, have their talks. It's like that many action, like when do I have to talk? I guess at 20:30 in CSTE. And then I have a QA session around about 11 p.m. Let's check that. Mobile, no, cross-platform Geekly. I can share you the link in a second, but you will find somewhere down here on the juniors part where junior track is on the left. So where's my face? Show full agenda. Blah blah blah. Da da da. Here we go. So it will be at UTC 10. At 7 p.m. I would like to share that with you, but yeah, perfect. It would be great if you can share that in the stream. I think you have the allowance with a bit of luck. Okay, so on plain tab handler, we created all that. Calculate the distance between 2 points. Yeah, that's amazing that this is so easy. So we have A, B. In our case, this is point and distance, or vector dot vector free A. Well, this is the text. Sorry, don't want to change that. This is this guy. So position and last position. So we could call that A and this one B. And then we can say A distance to B. And this gives us the distance. So final length distance equals to that. And then we return a string. Voila. That contains the length times 100. 100 and then centimeters. Oh, thank you very much. That worked perfectly. So, well, that was not too hard, I guess. These are the 2 points. We calculated now the centimeters. For people who don't like the metric system, of course, you can calculate that differently. The string as fixed cm. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. To string as fixed 2. With that, we have just two numbers behind the comma, just to make that short. So, okay, and what comes next? Get middle vector. Oh, that's interesting. So how does this calculation happens? So we have again A and B, right? So this is point A, this is point B. And how does it calculate? So A plus B divided by 2. Oh yeah, sure, to get the center of a vector free. Makes absolutely sense. Precision? Do you call these numbers behind a comma, do you call precision? So, and then it seems that we write a text on our device. So we call the final geometry. That is just creation of the Arkit text. Okay. The final text equals, I just call it text for now. Arkit text with the text that we want, right? Okay, we call it text. Yeah. Wait, something is odd. So this one is a string. And this point is a point vector dot vector free. Okay, Arkit text. No, Arkit text. We pass in the text itself. And what does the next? Extrusion depth. Cool. Okay, let's give it a 1. And why does this not work now? Ah, too much text. Okay, yeah, got it. So this is the geometry. Good. And last but not least, we want to have the materials, of course. Is anything that we want. This is an Arkit property, as we have learned today. And this guy gets color, URL, or anything. So we give it color red in our case. If, am I wrong? Ah, it's an Arkit material and then the property. Ah, close enough. Material. The material had a diffusion and this diffusion has the property. And now we can set a color. In our case, color is red. Colors red, yes. So we have the scale, final vector scale, where we increase it. Okay. Let's see where we can add that. Scale is 0. What was the scale? 0.01, okay. And then the vector scale. Final vector scale. Vector free, right? Yeah. So vector, but vector free, and give it scale, scale, scale. Final node, we add the whole thing to the point and the vector scale. So we make it a little bit larger. Arkit control get node bounding box. So we get something from it, and then the result of it, we calculate the element and the position of the text, and at the end we add the node where it is. Okay, so Arkit controller get node bounded. So Arkit controller dot get node bounding box of the node. I have to jump inside. I don't know what this gives. Returns a list of 2 vector free elements, where first element min value, last element max value. Okay, it gives me the box where the node is bounded, I guess. Sorry, cannot tell you much more. We give inside the node itself, so it is the area of this element here. Matrix values, yes. So that we receive from the then here. So the value will be now most likely a list of vector frees, right? Yeah. List of vector free. Exactly. And here we have that guy. What I'm doing. So, and with these values, we can now calculate the different parts. So this here is a, let's call it result to keep it up. And we can actually return matrix of the rectangle of a canvas. Yep, thank you, Yo. I thought for a second you changed your profile picture, but I was misleading. Still your dog. So min vector equals to result 0. Okay, so the first result 0. And then let's give it the second one. Yes, exactly. This is what we read, right? So we have here the min vector and the max vector. So this is the part that we read here inside of this notebook. We return a list of 2 vector elements. The first element is the smallest one and the last element the biggest one. And because we are vector free, this will be a distance or not? So how does it go further? Now we calculate the difference of x, and that will be the max vector of x minus the min vector x divided by 2, which is the center of it, times scale. Okay, let's just keep it with that. So delta x equals to the max vector dot x minus the min vector dot x divided by 2 times scale. Is that right? Min, max minus min divided by 2 and scale, correct. And the same for y most likely. And the position of the element at the end is somewhere. Scale. Ah, yeah, that could be. That could be. So position vector vector 3. Ah, yeah, because wait, where did we have this 100? I think we calculated that on top of 100, right? So that makes a lot of sense that this is in centimeters. I saw that somewhere. 100? Ah, down here in the distance. Okay, we managed it. So this is now dx, dy, and position. Is that correct? No, of course not. Note position x minus the difference of x. Yeah, to put it in the center, right? So note dot position, this is where our element that we have selected is, dot x minus the delta x. So this keeps us in the center. Then we come to the y, position dot y minus dy. And last but not least, we have the same z position because we have a plane and we don't have a height on that. So somewhere I made a mistake. Oh, fantastic. Cleaned it up a little bit. So, and here we have now the position. We say node.position equals to position. And last but not least, down here, we add the new node to it. Okay, I'm really curious how this turns out. And this is everything, right? So the text should be now visible close to the element where we are. Did we forgot something? I guess no. So let's go to the main.dart and change that to the distance tracking page. Got that. Bring that in the center. So let's hot restart once more. Let's go. Let's search a plane that I can work with. Take that one. Tapped on it. Did it crash? Oh no, there happened something. Freaking far away and super small, but there is something. You look at that. So and now this is in the center between these two spins, you see? I added this point. So this point. And I added that point. And it behaves in the center. I don't know if you know it, but I find that so amazing. This is stuff I really love. That's why I'm a developer at the end. And I can put that everywhere, I think. So can I put something like here and to here? So this is now 9 centimeters. And you know what? Look at that. So here, because I want to check if it really works. So I would say that is pretty close, huh? So this is 8 centimeters, right? You can see point to point. That works quite well. To be honest, I didn't expect that this would work like that. So how's with my keyboard? Still here. 20 centimeters roundabout. It's not a perfect science, I would say. I don't want to measure my next images and pictures for the wall with it, but still better than nothing. If you don't have something better in the hand. Yeah, also pretty good. 19 dot. There is a bit difference, I would say, but not too bad, not too bad. I'm fully prepared. Perfect stream day. Alright, but I would say this is a success. And with these nice images of the centimeters that we calculated, I will finish off the stream for today. I really hope you liked the topic, and I think I will do that once more in the next couple of days, because I really want to see how the other things are going. And I hope you also have some game with it and play a bit around. And let me see what you have created with this stuff. I'm really curious, and just tag me on Twitter, and I want to see what have you done with that stuff. Okay. So thank you very much. Thank you, Debug, that you remembered me to drink water. It's very important. Thank you, Stefan, for the support, as always. You do a fantastic job as a moderator. I really love that. Good luck with your river pot fight. I really hope you find a good solution for it. Alright, so that was a fantastic stream today. And I hope you are now in the mood to go to bed. And I wish you a pleasant evening. See ya, guys.